Hi, my name is Lisa Haskins, and I'm so grateful you're joining me today for a very important conversation that is so near and dear to my heart. Today, I'm going to be sharing the 3 sabotaging beliefs that prevent hope and healing after a toxic relationship. And before we dive into today's content, let me explain who this presentation is for. This presentation is for you if you're someone who's been with a narcissistic abuser and you're no longer in the relationship. It's also for you if you've been left, deserted, abandoned, cheated on, and tossed aside by a person who created such chaos and turmoil and toxicity for you. And then when they were done, they just discarded you. And although a part of you may look back and see all the destruction and the chaos that is involved, there's so much wreckage, right? To recover so many pieces and parts to make sense of. This is also for you if you've been out of the abusive relationship for a while, maybe years, but you either find that you keep repeating and entering similar relationships because you haven't fully healed, or you just feel stuck and numb and small and you're not stepping into the fullness of your life. If any of these crushing examples speak to you, then what I'm sharing today is for you and to help you get your life back so you can perhaps trust yourself again, trust the world, and maybe even trust another person to bring a healthy partner into your life. If anything I've just said speaks to you, then know that what I'm offering today is for you. And understand, I get it. I know what you're feeling. If you're not familiar with my story, I'm not going to go into too much detail today, but I want you to know I've been exactly where you are. And I can tell you, I know how it feels. I can't express that enough. I fled a very abusive relationship with a narcissistic abuser. I was married for 18 years and I felt like I was never going to recover. I just thought, I'm never going to trust again. I'm never going to be able to have my life back, have any sense of what was true and real. I just felt like this was going to be my life. I was going to be hopeless and broken for the rest of my life. And I thought, I'm just going to bury myself in work, and just accept this kind of numb, stuck, desperate feeling, full of regret and resentment, full of anger, loneliness, and just accept my fate. And then I'm so grateful. Something in me, something inside of me just says, no, this is not true. It doesn't have to be like this. It doesn't have to be like this. There is another way. And I sought help. Sought help from a therapist, a psychotherapist. And that was very important. It served an important purpose for a period of time. It was helpful to talk through while I was in the thick of hysteria and shock. But in the end, I needed more to heal. I also went to an astrologer. I went to a psychic. Yes, I did. And when all the questions plagued me and I just didn't know where else to turn, however, I just didn't find that was healing or the support I needed for the long term to help myself. So I went on this quest, this journey, pretty fervently. And I just wanted to explore, could I recover? could I rediscover these pieces and parts of myself that I just felt were lost? And I just felt hopeless. I doubted myself. I just was so stuck in this fearful place. And I wanted to see, was it possible to find my way back to me, to find the tools to bring healing? Was it possible to stop doubting myself, doubting my decision? Was it possible for me to trust myself again, to trust people, to trust the world? And my search led me to study and get certified in positive psychology. It also led me to learn and practice mindfulness tools, first as a participant and later as a trainee at the Center of Mindfulness at the UMass Medical Center. It led me to deepen my yoga practice and then to become a yoga teacher. And all these experts and people like you who I've interacted with all along the way, sharing their stories, and I'm so very grateful for you that you are here now. I want you to know that the shifting and the changing is possible. But it does take a system, a process, a toolkit to guide. And I will be sharing more at the end of the presentation, more about the process and the key tools and practices that I used for my transformation and the transformation of my clients. But for now, let's jump into what you came for. And I'm going to be sharing the 3 sabotaging beliefs that prevent hope and healing. Because you don't want to remain stuck. And you can learn to take the first steps to move towards healing for you. The first sabotaging belief is the only way I'm going to feel safe is going alone, going it all alone. And this is a sabotaging belief. It's a form of thinking on some level that you don't deserve support, and the level of shame and humiliation is so deep that you feel perhaps that you don't deserve compassion, you don't deserve to care for yourself physically, mentally, spiritually. It's this layering on a protective type of covering that is a sabotaging belief, because going it alone is not going to bring the healing and recovery that you need. And so repairing, recovering, rediscovering who you are, the essence of who you are after your self-esteem has been literally destroyed and in tatters, and rebuilding your sense of worth, your sense of self after the layering of the negative messaging that occurred over years and years with a toxic abuser, and releasing yourself from the resentment, the regret, and all that negative spiraling, all that negative thinking. Your compass needs to be reset so that you can break free. And you may have these familiar ways of relating to yourself and regarding yourself as if you don't matter, And this attitude and belief towards your preciousness, it seeps into all areas of your life, and it yields more of the same. More of the same yields more of the same. The second sabotaging belief is no one will ever understand what I've been through. No one is ever going to understand the level of despair, the depth of the suffering, the depth of the devastation. You are not alone. This is a limiting belief, and you are suffering, absolutely. But learning how to trust yourself, your decisions again, reconnecting and stepping back into your life requires first a healthy connection to yourself that supports you in healthy connections with others. And this is a step-by-step process to support you in finding your voice and bringing compassion to yourself and exploring and understanding the pieces and parts of who you are at your essence, at your very core. And to just get back in touch with you. I know I had a very hard crust. I can't explain it. It covered over and infiltrated every piece and part of me. It was just such a hard, heavy load to carry. And it was covering my spirit. It was covering my heart. It was covering over every part of my life. And I thought I was protecting myself. I thought I was preserving myself. But in the end, when I said no one understands, no one's going to be able to help me, no one's going to be able to understand my level of suffering, I was further distancing myself from healing. And this was a sabotaging, limiting belief that prevented me from healing. And a healing that I so desperately needed. And then the third sabotaging belief belief is that I need to toughen up and power through and just keep pushing forward and tough it out alone and say to myself, I can handle this. I used to be strong. I used to be independent. I used to be responsible and competent. And this is a sabotaging belief. You can work longer hours at work. You can pretend that everything is fine and all is perfect. Ignore your emotions, ignore your anger, ignore your sadness, ignore the feelings of loneliness and emptiness. You can deny the shame. You can deny the guilt. You can try to push away and not acknowledge that deep fear, deep feelings of loss. However, mistaking these feelings of I am strong, I am confident, I know I can handle it, and pushing these things away is not going to serve you and is not an opportunity to move into the fullness of who you are. And thinking that you can recover with this sabotaging belief is not true. And this sabotaging belief will hold you in this same stuck, suffering place. I want you to know I get it. I understand. I know that change is scary. I know taking small steps for even something that is a little different can be overwhelming. But what I also know is that shifts, changes are possible. You can recover and rediscover who you are, the essence of you. I recovered and I rediscovered myself, and this was a gift. This was a gift. And I want to invite you to join me on a journey to transformation. If you are interested in receiving information, upcoming information on the spring release of Recover and Rediscover, the healing course, type your email address into the link that is below this video, and you will receive upcoming information on registration and pricing, etc. And thank you so much for your time today. Thank you.